Hi there, welcome to Wyckoff Technical Analysis session for Hedera. If you're new to my sessions, these are the key takeaways you can expect from the sessions. I'll cover the Wyckoff stages for both the current and the upcoming in both weekly and daily time frames. Also, I'll talk about the key price levels where Hedera will find support or resistance. And finally, any key breakout timing that the charts are indicating to us. So let's begin with the weekly charts. The weekly chart, we can see this rebound of the previous couple of days, but then it got heavily rejected from the orange key level of 2.21, 21 cents. So the price went kind of above the channel and also the orange key level, and then got rejected back to below this yellow intermediate resistance line. So while we have these wicks going outside of the channel, it's time to adjust the rate of decline a little so it reflects correctly what's going on. So notice I'm not taking into account the October 10th event, just to make it clear. Some people say they will include. For me, it's an outlier event, so that's why I'm not including that. Alright, so that's about right. Sometimes it's need a little bit of patience to make sure you get the wicks pretty much inside the downward channel or upward channel or sideways channel, whichever box you're drawing. And remember to adjust the center line. So if you're new to these channel boxes concept, basically the price will bounce between the three lines, the ceiling, the bottom, and also the center line. So you see currently, most of the time since July, late July, the price has been trading around the upper half of the box. If you look at the candlesticks, you see where they bounce, right? The ceiling, and then the bottom, and then the ceiling again, and then the center line, not the bottom, and also these guys over here. So that's how the channel boxes are being used. Okay, so in terms of Wyckoff, we already shared for a couple of sessions that as long as the price doesn't break above this downtrend, the higher chance is for it to come down to show us a sign of weakness that we have seen back in April and June. So the situation hasn't changed. So the big picture remains same. The upside still of a lower chance. So before getting to the daily to check out any breakout timing, let's take a look at the Bollinger Band Curtain squeeze. Currently, there is no squeeze happening, but see the purple line is getting closer and closer to the orange at the bottom. The top, the purple line is flattening out, but coming down slightly. If I zoom real close, if you're watching on a mobile device, now you see it's coming down a step. So it may take a few more weeks before an actual squeeze happens, but if it continues to trade narrow range, probably about next week or the week after, the bottom lines will get together, and this may get close enough that I would consider a squeeze even though the indicator may not show this shade at the back. So when the squeeze happens afterwards, there will be bigger price swings, okay? Just like all these things that happened in the past. The indicator BB Keltner squeeze is free, so you can just go and grab it and try it on your chart. Just one caveat: it doesn't tell us that the price is going to go up after the squeeze. It can go down as well. So it only tells us potential fluctuation that's about to happen. Okay, now get to the daily chart. Here, the top line of the Bollinger Band Curtain squeeze, it's already inside the orange, and the bottom is getting pretty close. So for the next few days, if the trading is still within this area, not going down, pool drawing this. So basically the white dashed line and the orange key level. Okay, so you see the orange line and this, right? The squeeze will begin because daily chart things happen much quicker. So the squeeze may happen in just 2-3 days if that continues. Enough Bollinger Band, current squeeze, and let's go back to Wyckoff. Previously we said there's a chance that we have got into a preliminary support stage, but then this rebound just 3 days back kind of extended the end or the late stage accumulation, not accumulation, sorry, distribution, the late stage distribution a little bit longer. So it may still take time before it actually breaks this white dash support line. That line is extended from the previous supports back in April and June. So for that to come down back to a selling climax level we saw in end June and also early April, it may take maybe 1-2 weeks, because we talked about the time point last session also. So in case there are new joiners in the community, this is the time point that we are looking at. It's somewhere near mid-December. So remember, whenever a breakout happens, it doesn't wait till this a lot of times. A lot of times it happens way sooner. So we also talk about this November 22nd time point, but currently the price is trading below this triangle. So if it doesn't get into here and trade towards that particular point, that timing is not relevant to us. So one thing though, it doesn't mean it can't come in the next few days and then breaks. So if it breaks towards the upside, it means it's going to finish the downtrend that started somewhere in late July. So if I move the chart to this side, you see starting from mid-July, the price back down from the buying climax and upthrust and started this 3 of even coming to 4 months downtrend. And if it doesn't break outside of this channel box, that means that will continue. So if it comes up around mid-November and eventually breaks outside, that means it's signaling the possibility of this downtrend being over. But don't get over excited, however, because if it breaks outside, it can trade sideways for a moment and then eventually start another downtrend. So if you hope for it to go further up, that's fine. There's still a chance, but even though it's lower, but the fact is, like, breaking outside of downtrend doesn't mean it's going to like pump all the way to the very top. And if you're in the candlestick analysis, this looks like a very big bull flag in their terms. So supposedly the price should break towards the upside. However, the magnitude is an unknown. Okay, the volume themselves, still very high volume over the past few, like even yesterday. But then if you look at here, it looks like it's more like a change of hands, because if you count from the bottom or the tail to the head, the tip of the wick on top, on Tuesday, that volume was lower than yesterday, but then the price range was huge. And that big selling from the top or from the ceiling of this channel box, you see it got rejected right from there and then come down to below this yellow resistance line. That's where the last LPSY was back just 2 weeks ago. So currently we are likely going through another LPSY. If I switch it to the line chart, you see these little peaks over there. So the support is still, the first support is still the red key level around 17 cents 50 over here. And then The next one will be this, around 16 cents. That's where the previous lows were. Okay, so 2 support levels before the price eventually gets to challenge the selling climax low. Alright, so that's for Hedera for today. I'm going to move to the next